we're taking 50% off your first box of fresh food. Why? Because we believe that no living being should eat ultra-processed
Joe is presiding. Be seated, please. No talking. Are there any matters that we need to address before we bring the jury?
Nothing for the state.
Nothing from Mr. Haley. All right, we go ahead and bring it.
Jury's not in the court.
All right, y'all can see it. All right, we left off yesterday. First, welcome back this morning. Hope you all were able to rest. We're going to go ahead and jump right back into our trial. We left off with defense proof. Defense ready with our next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, Demetrius Haley will call Don Cameron to the stand.
Just stand right here in the circle. Raise your right hand and be sworn by the judge. Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony
If you would state and spell your name for the record, please.
My name's Don Stewart Cameron, DonStartCameron.
And Mr. Cameron, would you tell the jury briefly your history in law enforcement?
I started with the Berkeley, California Police Department in 1966. I stayed with Berkeley until 1972. In 1972, I transferred to the Bay Area Rapid Transit District, San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit District Police Department. I worked there from 72 until 81. Became a full-time instructor for police officers and other enforcement personnel at that time. I had been teaching since 1968, but I decided to do it full-time. I stayed in that capacity for 52 years until I retired in 2020.
And where do you work now, Mr. Cameron?
I work for myself through Cameron Consulting.
And what does Cameron Consulting do?
It's a consulting firm for attorneys, law enforcement agencies, private individuals.
Consulting in what areas?
I consult in the area of police training, police tactics. I write policies and procedures. I analyze equipment for policing agents to see if they're going to use that particular equipment. I write reports regarding my recommendations.
You mentioned you write training policies. For whom?
For various police agencies, in California mostly.
I'm sorry.
In California mostly.
Are you familiar with the acronym POST?
Yes, sir, I am.
Tell the jury what POST is.
POST is a commission for peace officer standards and training.
And what is its role in law enforcement?
POST basically sets standards. It regulates policing agencies. It makes training recommendations. It supplies instructors, supplies materials regarding police practices.
And to whom does it provide this?
To policing agencies.
Have you had a role with POST?
Yes, sir, I have.
And if you would describe that role?
I'm considered a subject matter expert for POST in the areas of training, weaponless defense, use of impact weapons, handling persons with disability, crowd control. So Post will bring together a group of subject matter experts and will either create new policies, we'll review current policies and make sure that they're up to date, or we'll check off a policy and say, yes, everything is correct in this policy. And then it goes to the Attorney General's office to have the Attorney General approve basically what we've written or what we've said was all right.
And is Post a national organization?
It's a national organization in that all policing agencies have some type of a Post regulatory commission. They're not all called Post, but most that I'm familiar with are called Post, or commissions on peace officer standards and training.
Are you familiar with Tennessee's Post Commission?
Yes, sir, I am.
And how did you become familiar with that?
I basically read the Post Commission's policies and procedures and what they've recommended to Tennessee.
Are they consistent with other Post Commission standards?
Yes, they're pretty much all the same. I'm sure there's some differences as far as local things, but most of them are the same because of federal law.
You mentioned you've been involved in training.
Yes, sir.
If you would tell the jury your involvement with training law enforcement.
I train officers in basically use of force, arrest control techniques, how to search people, how to handcuff people, how to disarm people, how to generally control people, how to take people to the ground, how to control them when they're on the ground, how to use their firearms, how to use their impact weapons, anything basically that's physical that a law enforcement officer would do.
And for whom do you do that training?
Do it for agencies throughout California, Hawaii, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Idaho. Advisory post certificate. I have a vocational teaching credential. I have a bachelor's of science degree. I am certified by the Federal Bureau of Investigation as a firearms instructor, a SWAT instructor, chemical agents instructor. I'm certified by California Post as a instructor trainer in weaponless defense, arrest control tactics, firearms, crowd control. I'm an regular instructor for basically the same areas, use of impact weapons, use of firearms, arrest tactics, handling persons with disabilities.
Have you previously testified in court?
Yes, sir, I have.
And have you previously been qualified as an expert to give opinion testimony regarding police standards, police training, and the proper use of force?
Yes, sir, I have.
Have you ever been denied by a judge the ability to testify as an expert in those areas?
No, sir, not in those areas.
Have you ever been denied by a court when you asked, when counsel asked that you be allowed to give an opinion in a specific area?
Yes, in Michigan, I was asked to give opinions about a specific agency policy, and the judge said that the policy spoke for itself, so I didn't need to testify to that.
Have you ever been denied at any other time in the area of police training, police standards, and the proper use of force?
No, sir, I have not.
I'm going to approach.
Thank you.
You recognize that document, Mr.
Yes.
Henry?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is it?
It's my resume.
Have you been qualified to testify as an expert in federal courts?
Yes, sir, I have.
Have you been qualified to testify as an expert in these areas in state courts?
Yes, sir, I have.
You would list the states that you have been qualified to testify as an expert in.
Yes, I have.
What states?
Oh, California, Arizona, Nevada, Idaho, Philadelphia, Alaska, Michigan. I think those ones I can remember.
And have you been qualified to give opinion testimony in federal courts?
Yes, sir, I have.
Have you been qualified to give opinion testimony in federal court for the Western District of Tennessee
Yes, sir, I have.
and other federal courts?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this point, I'd ask that his CV be marked as the next numbered exhibit.
Any objection?
We have no objection. We also have any objection with regard to Mr. Stingle's tendering him as an expert.
So we'll show the 5-page resume marked as exhibit 40.
And at this point, Your Honor, I would tender Mr. Cameron as an expert qualified to give opinion testimony in the areas of police training, police standards, and the proper use of force.
So that is
Mr. Cameron, are you familiar with the Memphis Police Department policies and procedures?
Yes, sir, I am.
How?
I reviewed their policies and procedures. They're in accordance with their post-commission, which, like I mentioned, is pretty much parallel to all the other post-commissions or regulatory commissions for policing agencies throughout the United States.
Let me go back. What have I, as Demetrius Haley's lawyer, asked you to do with respect to this case?
Examine Officer Haley's training. Formulate opinions as to whether his actions were in accordance with the policies and procedures of the Memphis Police Department, if they were in accordance with the training he received, if they met reasonable standard of care for a police officer.
And have you formed those opinions?
Yes, sir, I have.
Are you familiar with Demetrius Haley's training to become a Memphis police officer?
Yes, I am.
How?
I went through his entire training file. I read most of the outlines of the training programs he went to. I watched a training video of pepper spray training that he went through.
Your Honor, at this point, I am going to play a clip from a video that has been shared with the state. Was that part of what you reviewed?
Yes, sir, it is.
And was that part of Mr. Haley's training at the Memphis Police Department Academy?
Yes, sir, it was.
What is the purpose of that training exercise?
It's to expose the officers to pepper spray and the effects of pepper sprays and how it can affect them, debilitate them, and prevent them from performing normal police tasks. In this particular case, he was able to cover one eye, and shut the other eye, so the pepper spray didn't go directly into his eyes. It more or less dropped down. After he was sprayed, he was given specific directions of things to do, whereas in a real environment, there'd be nobody telling you what to do, and you'd have both eyes affected as opposed to just one eye. And basically, that's the training that police officers go through. The type of training that they do, it's usually just the one eye. It's never the two eyes that I know of.
Standard post-approved training.
Yes, sir.
In preparing to form an opinion, I may have asked this, but I'm not sure. Tell the jury everything that you reviewed in order to form your opinion.
I reviewed state discovery. I reviewed body cam videos. I read statements. I listened to audios of statements. I reviewed the training records of Officer Haley. I reviewed the force continuum for Memphis Police Department. I reviewed the post standards. I think that's it in a nutshell.
Did you review any sworn testimony?
I did review sworn testimony of Officer Hamhill and Officer Martin.
In a pass to the witness was been marked as Exhibit 15, which is the Memphis Police Department use of force continuum. Is that part of what you reviewed to form your opinion?
Yes, sir, yes.
What Is that part of what you reviewed to form your opinion?
Yes, sir, yes.
What, you set that aside, that's in case you need to refer to it as I ask questions. What type of traffic stop was this, Mr. Cameron?
It's a high-risk stop.
Why was it high risk?
Mr. Nichols failed to yield to the officer's lights. He was traveling at a high rate of speed. He changed lanes without signaling. He ran through a red light, and basically he didn't stop, and then all of a sudden he stopped. And that's unusual when you're in a pursuit of someone, and that's a red flag. Why did all of a sudden the person decide to stop as opposed to continue to run?
When making a high-risk traffic stop, what is an officer's proper law enforcement objective?
To contact the violator, to control the violator, get the individual handcuffed, searched, and taken into custody.
Going to play a portion of Officer Hill's body-worn camera and then ask you some questions.
We're at Rains and Ross. Taylor's deployed. So Suspect is running down Ross. Young male, black, slim build, blue jeans, and a hoodie.
Mr. Cameron, would you describe Haley's conduct? The video is stopped at 20:26:47. That was Hempel's body worn camera played from the beginning. Would you describe, first of all, did you see Demetrius Haley in that clip?
Yes, sir, I did.
Would you describe his conduct in that clip and his use of force in relationship to the Memphis Police Department's use of force continuum?
Certainly. When he first contacted Mr. Nichols, he was using verbal persuasion, or what's referred to sometimes as verbal judo. He used harsh language, which isn't prohibited. And usually if you're dealing with a situation where someone is a harsh individual, in other words, they've already fled from the officers, kind of emphasize things by sometimes using profanity. He went hands-on, which would be classified basically as soft hand techniques, pulled him out of the vehicle, placed him in the A-frame of the vehicle, which is trained to do by the Memphis Police Department to control the individual and prevent them from, or attempt to prevent them from running. He attempted to use control techniques to handcuff and subsequently search Mr. Nichols, but Mr. Nichols turned on him. At that point, they took him to the ground. They were still using controlling techniques to get him handcuffed. Mr. Nichols was not going for being handcuffed. Sometime in the process, Officer Haley used his pepper spray, and it appeared to have no effect on Mr. Nichols, but it got into Officer Haley's eyes, and I believe some of the other officers' eyes. Mr. Nichols refused to get on his stomach, though he said, I'm on my stomach, all right, I'm doing it. He wasn't doing it. He then took off and ran.
You said he went hands-on and used soft hands to get him out of the car.
Yes, sir.
Why was that? Was that, in your opinion, proper at
Yes.
that time?
Yes, there was.
Why?
Well, number one, he failed to yield originally. The car hadn't been searched. Mr. Nichols hadn't been searched. You want to isolate him from his own vehicle, get him out of the vehicle, and get him controlled as quickly as you can.
Did anything significant occur that caused the officers to take Mr. Nichols to the ground?
Yes, sir, it did.
What was that?
Officer Martin said, paraphrase something to the effect of, he's got a hold of my gun or he's got my gun. And at that point, all bets are off. I mean, you take him to the ground as quickly as you can, and you try and control him as quickly as you can. Because you don't know whether he was trying to take the officer's gun or if he has a gun of his own, because again, he hasn't been searched.
How do you know Martin said something along the lines of let go my gun or he's touching my gun?
Statement that I read and testimony I read, Officer Hampill said that he heard it, and I believe Officer Martin said that he said it.
Haley used verbal judo at that stop.
Yes, sir.
What is verbal judo?
That's a method of attempting to solicit someone's cooperation verbally. So if you're not doing what I ask you to do, and for example, if I say, will you step over to the curb? And the person refuses to do that, I'll say, well, sir, is there anything I can say or do to have you step over to the curb? So I'm trying to basically negotiate with you. But if that works, that's fine. But if it doesn't work, then you have to escalate. And again, sometimes when you escalate to have someone do something, under certain circumstances, you'll use harsh language.
Profanity,
Profane.
vulgarity.
Yes, sir.
Verbal judo, soft hands.
Yes, sir.
Why was that appropriate?
Well, again, Mr. Nichols wasn't getting out of the car. When Officer Haley reached in to escort him from the car, he pulled away from him. Then at that point, you go hands-on. Get them out of the car, get them into a position where you can immediately search them and handcuff them, or handcuff them and search them, depending on which order you're going. And that's all training techniques and all appropriate.
And then the pepper spray, the OC spray.
Yes, sir.
Why was that appropriate?
Well, actually, on the force continuum, pepper spray goes before hard hand techniques and sometimes soft hand techniques. So it was, according to their training, it was also appropriate in the situation to try and get him controlled, because the object is to get them controlled, to get them handcuffed. Obviously, the pepper spray didn't work on Mr. Nichols in this case, but it did work on the other officers.
While Mr. Nichols was on the ground, there were commands given.
Yes, sir.
How did Mr. Nichols react to the commands?
He said he was doing what they asked him to do, get on his stomach, but in fact, he was on his side, would not get on his stomach. And he kept saying, I'm on my stomach, I'm on my stomach. He wasn't on his stomach. He was up on his side, which means, again, he hadn't been searched. He can access a weapon along his waistband, and in front of the waistband where firearms are most often carried by suspects. Consequently, he had access to that. He had the ability to use his hands to strike at the officers. So the officers were telling him to do something or ordering him to do something, and he was saying he was doing it, but he wasn't. So he wasn't following the commands.
You said they in respect to the commands. Who was giving commands?
I believe all the officers, Officer Campbell, Officer Haley, and Officer Martin.
Is that ideal?
It's not necessarily ideal. What you'd like to do is have one officer give commands, but that's in a different circumstance. If I'm telling somebody to do something and I'm the officer that's going to handcuff the person, then I'll simply tell them to do it. In this situation where you have a fighting, resisting suspect, you wouldn't want other officers giving commands. In other words, I wouldn't want to say, lay on your stomach, and another officer say, no, lay on your back, and somebody else say, put your hands over your head, and somebody else say, put your hands behind your back. But in this case, all three officers were saying exactly the same thing. Get on your stomach, give up your hands, stop resisting, get on your stomach, give up your hands. So if different officers were giving different commands, it could confuse the suspect, and that could be why he wasn't doing it. But in this case, all the officers were giving almost exactly the same command.
In that clip, in your opinion, was Haley's use of force and conduct consistent with his training,
Yes, sir.
consistent with Memphis Police Department policy and procedure?
Yes, sir, it was.
I'm going to continue playing Hempill's body cam, picking up at 20:26:47 for roughly 8 minutes.
Sat down, Ross. We last saw. What's that? Yes. Hang on. Ready? Alright, just straight. One of the props to the Baxter. Alright, your car's right in front of you. Alright, hang on. Where's your water? Okay, I got you. Get water. Here. Ready? Negative 2938. Where are my damn glasses? Like that again? Yeah. I can't see jack shit. My glasses when he was fighting me. Negative, we just saw him running down Ross. What made you laugh? Yeah. How's that? Right eye. Alright, ready? What? Right eye. That way. Okay, I gotta find my glasses and get this damn taser. Now loaded. Like a camouflage jacket, like orange, green, red, don't be wild head, swim there. He couldn't that far. 2938, did you also read that I pulled my taser? Thin male black, blue jeans, and a plaid Can you at least open your eyes? You found it wrong. Martin and all them are over there chasing them. Shit, you sprayed too, but luckily didn't get my eyes just on my eyebrow. Oh, just stop his ass. I hope they stop his ass. Speed on for other cars because him and Martin chasing. Sure. Stay right in the car. All right, I got you.
In this clip, which ends at 20:34:44, what significant, to your opinion, about Haley's actions has occurred?
He's still debilitated by the pepper spray. And obviously he's trying to flush his eyes out with the water. He's trying to hold his eye open so that the air can get in there. And it's basically debilitated him. He took his vest off because it's easier. It doesn't inhibit you much from moving. So it's easier for him to be able to tip his head back and to use his hands and hold his eye open and have the other officer flush it out. And at one point he puts his vest back on and responds because he hears a call coming over the radio at Bear Creek and Castlegate, that the officers basically something to the effect that the suspect's still resisting or still fighting, and we need more officers. And that's one of the first things you're trained as a police officer is if another officer calls for help or calls for additional units, that if at all possible, you respond as quickly as you can.
Is that reaction good policing?
Responding, yes, sir.
Trained,
Yes, sir.
consistent with MPD policy?
Yes, sir, it is.
What, based on your review, what knowledge did Haley have when he arrived at Castlegate and Bear Creek?
Well, number one, he knew about the interaction they had on the traffic stop, that Mr. Nichols was resisting, didn't want to be handcuffed. He hadn't been searched. He ran from the officers. The pepper spray didn't appear to have any effect on him. He now knew from the radio transmission that Mr. Nichols had been contacted by other officers, that the other officers were having a difficult time taking him into custody, that they were calling for other officers. And again, by his training and the Memphis policies, he needed to respond to that location.
You mentioned earlier when Martin said, "Let go my gun," you said all bets are off.
Right.
Tell the jury what you meant by all bets are off.
In other words, when somebody goes for an officer's gun, it becomes a deadly force situation. It's a deadly force situation, obviously, for the officers. It's a deadly force situation where the officers may have to use deadly force if the suspect gets the officer's gun and or if the suspect has his own gun. So it changes all bets. It's not routine. It's not going by the use of force continuum to the soft hands, to the hard hands, to the pepper spray. It immediately jumps to a deadly force situation.
In your review of this entire incident, was deadly force ever used by Demetrius Haley?
No, sir, it was not.
Gonna pass a document to Do you recognize that, Mr. Cameron?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is that?
It's Mr. Nichols' left arm with one handcuff on it, and an officer attempting to get that hand under control, particularly because the handcuff is on the wrist, and the handcuff on the wrist basically becomes a weapon. If the individual is able to break free from the officer's grip, he can swing that very effectively and severely injure an officer.
Is that a picture you recognize as one of the scenes of the body-worn cameras you reviewed?
Yes, sir, it is.
That be marked to the next number exhibit?
State.
No objection.
We'll show the screenshot of Mr. Nichols' wrist, exhibit 41.
For the record, that is a screenshot from Officer Mills's body-worn camera, which has been shown, will be admitted into evidence. And the timestamp is 20:34. I believe it's 55 on the print. The second cut off. Based upon your review, Mr. Cameron, in relationship to Haley's arrival at Castlegate and Bear Creek, when was that handcuff put on the left wrist?
I believe it was put on the left wrist about a minute before Officer Haley arrived, if I'm not mistaken.
Whether it was a minute or not, before, during, or after Haley's arrival?
Before his arrival.
And did the existence of the handcuff on, we now know to be Mr. Nichols' left wrist, have any impact on your opinion of Haley's conduct at Castlegate and Bear Creek?
Yes, certainly. Mr. Nichols continuing to resist. Officer Haley can see that when he arrives on the scene, that the one wrist is handcuffed, but the other hand isn't handcuffed. And at that point, Mr. Nichols has his arm basically tucked underneath his body or locked into his body position. And it could be that he's simply resisting not being handcuffed or being handcuffed, but it's also consistent with someone reaching for the waistband. And like I mentioned before, Mr. Nichols had not been searched at that time, so they don't know whether he has a worst case scenario gun, less case scenario a knife in the waistband. So though you could say, yeah, he's resisting because he doesn't want to get handcuffed, but could he be not wanting to get handcuffed, and could he be wanting to access a weapon? And that's what an officer has to think.
I'm going to play a brief clip from the Skycom video. Start over. This is a clip from the Skycom video at Castlegate and Bear Creek. I think it's officially titled 6727 Castlegate. This clip begins at 20:36:02. And that clip ends at 20:36:30. Mr. Cameron, was that clip a portion of the Skycop video that you reviewed in connection with your work in this case?
Yes, sir, it is.
And in that clip, did you see Mr. Haley arrive?
Yes, sir, I did.
Would you describe his conduct in that clip to the jury?
Well, he arrives at the scene. You can see that Mr. Nichols is not controlled. There's a handcuff on one wrist. Like I mentioned before, the arm is tucked under the body. Officer Haley comes up, makes a quick assessment of what's occurring. He takes the time to look to see where he's going to apply the kick. He applies the kick to the upper arm muscle area, which they're trained to do because basically it causes the arm to relax or come up behind the back, or where the officers want the arm to be, which is in a handcuffing position. So he takes the time basically to aim and to kick the area that he wants to kick. And that's in association with the training received at Memphis Police Department, to use a hard hand technique and use it to an area that will have the individual relax that area or react to the kick and be able to be handcuffed.
Trained technique,
Yes, sir.
hard hands technique according to the Memphis Police Department policy and procedure,
Yes, sir.
authorized.
Yes, sir.
On that clip, how many kicks did we see?
From Officer Haley, just one.
How many kicks in total? on
Two.
that? Okay. And which one was Haley's?
Haley's was the first.
What happened after the kick?
Mr. Nichols was able to be handcuffed
How quickly?
almost immediately.
And I'm going to play this clip one more time and stop it at Mr. Haley's kick so that we can get the timestamp into the record. Tell me if I've stopped it at the correct time. Did Mr. Haley just kick?
Yes, sir, he did.
And the timestamp is 20:36:19.
Yes, sir.
Going to play one more brief clip. Start over and put the timestamp on. This is from Officer Blake's body worn cam, which has been played. This is a clip which begins at 20:36:37. And it ends at 20:36:47. Mr. Cameron, is that a clip from some of the video you reviewed in connection with coming up with your opinion?
Yes, sir, it is.
And what is significant in that clip?
Officer Haley's following his training and his policy and procedures from the police department, and that he's calling for medical aid or an ambulance, giving the brief information that he had that the individual had been pepper sprayed, the individual had been tasered.
I might have a moment with my client, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
I just want to know, where the fuck are they finding these decrepit ass former law enforcement officers that damn near got 1 foot in the coffin and 1 foot on earth? Where the fuck are y'all finding these men? The last two had to walk in with canes. The other one said the last time he was on the force was 2011. Motherfucker, your shit is obsolete now. I'm pretty sure policies have changed now. Yeah, California, completely different setting than Tennessee.
All right, Mr. Cameron. I didn't get to ask questions of the use of force people yesterday, so this will be my first time, okay?
All right,
We just met each other for a second out there.
just a second, we did.
But I think maybe we have the same marker.
Yes, we
I
do.
think we get our hair cut at the same place.
Yes.
I am gonna ask questions about the case, but let me start more generally, okay?
Certainly.
With your role here, okay?
All right.
You've been in law enforcement for many years,
Yes, sir, I was.
with extensive training, and you lectured and you trained.
Yes, sir.
And you have reviewed materials, some of which has been evidence before the jury, but other which has not been evidence before the jury. Is that right?
I would assume so.
And you've been asked to come here and render your sort of opinion on some things. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
right? You're not here though to tell us what the law is, correct?
Oh, no, not at all.
The jury gets their law from somewhere else, correct?
Yes, they did.
And you're not here to tell the jury what the facts are either, are you?
No.
The the jury has to make their own determination on the facts, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're not here to tell the jury that they must accept your opinion. right?
Oh, no, not at all.
They're free to accept it or to reject it or somewhere in between or whatever it is.
Yes, sir, they are.
You, like the other use of force experts yesterday, are just here to offer your opinion.
Yes, sir.
Based on some evidence that we've seen and some we haven't, inconsistent with your training and your experience.
Yes, sir.
And for preparing for this, you reviewed a lot of materials, videos, and things like that with regard to this case.
Yeah, a lot of
Is that
material.
correct? Would you agree with me that there's limitations to your opinions?
I missed that.
Yeah, well, let me rephrase. Would you agree that there are limitations to your opinions?
I have the opinion. I guess there's limitations.
For instance, you weren't there.
Oh, I wasn't there,
correct?
no, sir.
Right. So you didn't witness these things personally? correct?
No, I did not.
And in fact, just a couple examples of what I'm talking about, you have to base your opinion on stuff that you have read. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Stuff that you don't know if it's true or not.
That's correct.
So let's take just for instance, and let me just say, these right here, not trick questions. These defendants are not even charged with anything having to do with the traffic stop.
All right.
Okay, so this is more about the basis of your opinions right now.
All right.
Okay. So for instance, when you testified that Tyre had grabbed or attempted to grab or put his hand on Officer Martin's gun, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you see that?
Oh, no, sir.
In fact, you're basing that opinion on something that Martin said, correct?
Yes, sir. And Hampill.
Right,
And
there's-
Hampill as well.
Yeah, you're basing your opinion on something that Martin and Hemphill said, correct?
Yes, sir.
Something that Martin said at the time of the traffic stop,
Yes, sir.
but you don't know if that's true or not.
No, I don't.
In fact, are you aware that he made a later comment to Hemphill that caused Hemphill to have questions if that was true at all?
All right.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you say Tyre put his hand on Martin's gun, you mean if we take Martin's word for it in the video?
Correct.
But we have reason not to take his word for it.
So I guess so, yeah.
And when you say, and I don't know if you actually testified to this, I've read your report too. For instance, and this may be different between Tennessee and California, so the substance of the law I'm not interested in, but that Tyre was driving recklessly.
Yes, sir.
Do you mean that Officer Martin reported that Tyre was speeding?
Yes, sir.
Do you mean that Officer Martin and Officer Hemphill reported that he had changed lanes once or twice without signaling?
Yes, sir.
Do you also mean that he was driving in opposite lanes of traffic and all that stuff that Officer Martin made up later?
Well, it's part of the equation of what the officer said.
So are you you're basing that also on Martin's statement that he was driving in opposite lanes of traffic?
Yes, sir.
Objection, Judge, there's no testimony about Martin making stuff up later. Asked if things outside the record.
There's body cam footage in which Officer Martin is speaking with these defendants after the fact, making these statements.
Maybe objective in a clearer fashion. The first question you asked indicated that he made a statement and then later recanted that statement or said it was untrue. Nowhere on the body worn camera does Emmitt Martin say, hey, I said earlier such and such, but that was untrue. So it assumes facts, not an evidence.
There hasn't been any proof presented that the statements were false or that he was acknowledging that they were false. Also stand the objection.
Were you aware that Officer Hemphill did not see Tyre Nichols go into oncoming traffic or anything like that.
Am I aware of that?
Yeah.
No, sir.
So you were not aware of his testimony with regard to that?
I'm sorry.
You're not aware of his testimony with regard to that?
No, sir.
That would be another example of limitations on your testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
I want to play for you what we're here for, the poll camera footage of Castlegate. We could play for the record synced with being spotted there. If you'll pay attention here. You just stop it there. Did you see that kick?
I did.
Would you characterize that as excessive?
It doesn't seem to be used to accomplish a particular goal,
Excuse me?
so it's unnecessary.
Is unnecessary.
That's right.
Appear to be a kick to the head or the neck.
Right.
A kick like that to the head or the neck could be considered deadly force. Is that correct?
It could be.
And my word was excessive. Yours was unnecessary. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, so you'd agree that was unnecessary force?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
Would you agree that any officers that would have seen that kick would have a duty to intervene if they could?
If they saw the kick, they could stop it, yes, sir.
If they saw the kick, they'd have a duty to intervene, correct?
Yes, sir.
Continue to play.
Get your hand! Give me your hand! Turn it around! Lay back! Lay back! Lay back!
Did you see that kick?
I did.
Would you agree that that was excessive?
Excessive and necessary, yes, sir.
Excessive, sir. Would you agree that any officers that saw that kick would have a duty to intervene?
Yes, sir, they should.
And how would you describe Tyre Nichols and what he's doing while he's being kicked there?
It appears he's reacting to being kicked.
He's what?
He's reacting to being kicked.
Reacting to being kicked.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, that's natural, right?
Yes, sir.
Would you describe that as resisting?
Well, you're seeing the kick and you're seeing, hearing his reaction to it, but you don't know really, I mean, I can't see really what he's doing with his hands, whether he's trying to get his hands away from the officers or he's struggling not to be handcuffed. So
You see the first kick and he sort of collapses a little bit to the ground, right?
he appears to.
Would you consider that resisting?
Pardon me?
Would you consider that resisting?
Falling to the ground?
Correct.
No, it's part of the reaction to,
To being kicked?
yes.
Correct. Second kick, did you see him resisting?
Well, again, he's still not handcuffed, but you can't really see what he's doing because the officers are in the way.
Yeah, and this is what I'm getting at. I mean, we've agreed the first kick is unnecessary and excessive, correct?
Yes, sir?
We've agreed that the first kick is unnecessary and excessive deadly force, correct?
It could be, yes, sir.
Isn't he allowed at that point to try to survive?
To prevent from being kicked, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, don't you train your officers that, I know you didn't train these officers. I'm not
Yes,
saying
sir, I
that.
did not.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say you train these officers. But don't you train your officers that one of the terrible dangers of using excessive force like this is poor man has a right to defend himself and to try to survive, doesn't he?
Yes, sir.
Continue to play. You just stop it. Here, what's Tyre Nichols doing?
Well, again, it's difficult to see. You can hear that he's reacting, and I don't know whether it's in pain or from being frightened. Can't see whether he's handcuffed. Obviously, he wasn't at that time because we know he wasn't handcuffed later.
Either one of those reactions, being in pain or being frightened, would be natural and expected, right?
Sure.
To us watching the video now, or to anybody that saw that first or second kick, right?
I missed
The fact that Tyre was reacting either in pain or in fear
Right, I agree.
is very natural,
Yes, sir.
and it would be expected by anybody watching this video.
I would think so, yeah.
You would think so.
Sure.
Or anybody that was there and saw those two kicks.
Right.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
At this point when he's laying on the ground, do you know whether or not he has suffered a traumatic brain injury?
I have no idea.
But you do know about use of force when it concerns people with disabilities, right?
Yes, sir.
And you do know that people with traumatic brain injuries may have problems responding to commands, don't you?
I'm not an expert on that field, but I would assume so.
Continue to play. Step here. What do we see Tyre Nichols do here?
He appears to roll to a seated position.
He appears to now be in some sort of seated position, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell how he got there?
I don't know whether the officers put him there or he put himself there.
It's difficult to say, right?
Right.
It's difficult to say whether or not he has come to the seated position himself or if he's been pulled to the seated position, correct?
Correct.
And would you agree with me at this point in the video, it's a fair assessment that Mr. Nichols could just be trying to survive, right?
He could be, yes, sir.
given the unnecessary and excessive force.
All right.
Would you agree with me that if he can get away, he should get away?
Well, I think he should submit to the arrest and put his hands behind his back. But yeah, if he wants to get away from,
Submit to the arrest.
Right.
Stay on the ground and be kicked how many more times?
I'll stay on the ground and be handcuffed.
It calls for speculation, and he's testifying way beyond the scope of what this particular expert has studied at this time. He's showing him premised testimony based off things that the expert has already said. I can't really see, I can't tell, etc. And he's trying to create a narrative for this expert as well beyond a cross-examination,
The witness,
but calls for speculation.
the witness has been tendered as an expert. Allow the state to ask some questions based off of his opinion and expertise.
You don't know how many more times he may be kicked in the head, do you?
No, I don't.
He's in a damned if you do or damned if you don't situation, isn't he?
Who's that?
Mr. Nichols?
I don't follow the question.
If he complies, if he's able to, we don't know how many more times he's going to be kicked in the head.
I have no idea.
If he doesn't comply, more and more force is going to be used upon him. He is damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't.
Your Honor, I would object to the testifying of Mr. Haggard and ask the same question to Strickland.
I'll sustain that objection. As far as the question, we'll strike that question.
You see the danger of him complying, don't you?
Normally, when someone complies, then the officers stop using arrest tactics.
Exactly. But Officer Martin doesn't, does he?
He uses baton, yes, sir.
Officer Mills uses the
Oh,
time.
I'm sorry.
Officer Martin is the one that kicks him.
Oh, okay.
So this isn't normal, is it?
Continually kick someone? No, sir.
We'll keep on playing. Stop here. Are you aware that Officer Mills testified that those strikes were unnecessary and were out of anger?
I don't remember the anger part. I don't remember his exact statement, no.
Are your officers trained to react out of anger?
No, sir. I
Are
mean, you
they-
may be angry, but you don't react to it.
Are they trained to inflict punishment?
No, sir, not at all.
If those strikes were out of anger and to inflict punishment, were they unnecessary and excessive?
Yes, sir, they were.
We've seen at this point 2 kicks, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We've seen 3 baton strikes, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Unnecessary and excessive, correct?
Yes, sir.
Anybody out there that saw those things would have a duty to intervene, is that correct?
I would agree.
They'd be trained in their training to intervene, correct?
Right, if they are able to do it.
Continue. Stop there. Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
You see Officer Smith, Officer Martin deliver we've heard it described as a haymaker.
A
on
punch,
Mr.
yes,
Nichols'
sir.
head.
Yes, sir.
Did you see that?
I did.
Did you see the other officers? Did you see the other officers?
The other officers do what?
Did you see the other officers in the video? Could you
Yes.
see the other officers? in the
Oh, I could
video?
see the other officers, yes, sir.
One at one arm and one at another arm,
Right, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you can also see Mills off a few feet, is that correct?
Pardon me?
You can also see the other officer, Mills, off a few feet,
Yes, sir.
4 officers in total.
Yes, sir.
Officer Bean, Officer Smith, each at an arm, and Officer Martin throwing a haymaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was that force unnecessary?
Throwing the haymaker?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't appear to be if he was under control. He's not handcuffed, but he is being held by the other officers.
You're saying that force is not unnecessary? I may have misheard you.
Oh, I said that the other officers would have him under control, so at that point, there would be no need for them to be punched.
I misheard you. I wasn't. So it was unnecessary.
Pardon me?
It was unnecessary.
Yes, wasn't needed at that time.
Exactly. And excessive.
Yes, sir.
And a strike like that to the head could be deadly, correct?
I suppose it could.
So this would be the third instance of possible deadly force on Mr. Nichols. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What does Mr. Nichols appear to be doing as he's getting hit?
His body's reacting to being hit.
His body's reaction to being hit. Have we seen in this video Mr. Nichols throw any punch?
No, sir.
Have we seen Mr. Nichols throw any kick?
No, sir.
Well, we've seen Mr. Nichols sustain, at this point, 3 blows that are unnecessary, excessive, and could be deadly. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Continue. Right there. Did you see that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Another strike to the head.
Yes, sir.
You say that was unnecessary?
I don't think it was needed. Yes, it's unnecessary.
Excessive?
Yes, sir.
If an officer saw it, they'd have a duty to intervene, correct?
Yes, sir, he would.
And what's Mr. Nichols' body doing when this is happening?
He's reacting to the punches.
Reacting to being punched.
Yes.
Next. You stop there. What's Mr. Nichols doing?
I missed that. Could we play it back?
Just give back 10 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever. We went back too far. Let's move. What's Mr. Nichols doing at this point?
Looks like he's pulling away or trying to walk away.
We've seen his body flailing around, reacting, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now we see a movement that may actually be intentional, correct?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
That's what-
It may not be.
It may not be, but it may be. He may be trying to walk away, or this could be an unintentional movement.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Shouldn't he try to get away at this point?
Well, it doesn't appear to be too prudent for him to try and get away from the officers, but I suppose he could try.
Doesn't appear too prudent for him to stay either, does it?
No?
Like, we can go for another one, sir. Stop now. Did you see those 2 shots to the head?
Yes, sir, I did.
Unnecessary,
Yes, sir.
excessive.
Yes, sir.
We've actually watched 5 of them now. Is that right?
I think that was the count.
And any officer out there that saw it would have a duty to intervene if they could. Is that right?
I would think so, yes, sir.
Any officer out there that saw it could say stop, couldn't they?
Certainly could.
They could say, whoa, whoa, we got this, right?
Yes, they could.
Have you heard anybody say stop?
No, sir.
Have you heard anybody say, whoa, whoa, we got this?
No, sir.
And at this point, it's 4 officers and 1 Tyre Nichols. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And we have seen now 2 kicks, unnecessary and excessive, 3 baton strikes, unnecessary and excessive, 5 haymakers to the head, unnecessary and excessive. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I'd agree.
Continue to play. Stop. Did you hear that?
Did I hear what?
When Officer Haley arrived, him say, beat that man or beat that man's ass.
I heard something to that effect, yes, sir.
He says that when he jumps out of his car, doesn't he?
I believe he was just coming out of the car, yes, sir.
Just coming out of the car. I'll tell you, different people here beat that man. Some people say beat that man's ass. Which in particular, do you know which one it is?
I'm sorry, no?
I'm just going to say beat that man.
All right.
Gets out of the car and yells, agreed,
Yes, sir.
beat that man.
All right.
Right? Police officers talk harsh, correct?
They do.
You've been around more than me. I've been around plenty. I know they talk harsh.
Yes, sir, they do.
And I don't have a problem with people talking harsh like that. Okay?
All right.
But beat that man something different, isn't it?
Well, it may be a way of saying do what you have to get the guy in custody.
Or it may be a way of saying beat that man, right?
Oh, that's what he said. But again, I could say beat that man to get him into custody.
But he didn't. He's getting out of his car. He's more than 15, 20 feet away from that man who's surrounded by 4 police officers and is on his stomach, right?
Yes, sir.
And from where he's literally getting out of his car, he hasn't assessed the scene, has he?
No, he only knows what he's heard.
He's just going to jump out of the car and yell directions to other officers, beat that man.
All right, or get him into custody. Yes, sir.
Or beat that man so that y'all can get him in custody.
Right.
So that's correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that's what we need to believe that his kick is not unnecessary, correct?
Whose kick are you talking about?
Haley's.
Haley used the kick to get the arm behind the back.
Well, that's your opinion.
Yes, sir.
We're free to accept it or not. Right?
Sure.
Okay. But to believe he used that kick to get his arm behind his back, we have to believe that beat that man means beat that man until he's in custody,
To get him in custody. Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you believe.
Yes, sir, I do.
You do not believe that Mr. Haley is reacting out of anger,
No, I believe he was doing something he was trained to do.
which is get out of the car and yell, beat that man?
To kick Mr. Nichols in the upper tricep area to have his arm go behind his back for cuffing.
Let's watch the kick. I'm sorry.
Like you said,
Everybody or just
just Mr. Chairman, you can proceed.
Your Honor. Back on the video, it's where Mr. Haley jumps out the car.
Another 5 seconds. You heard to beat that man. Now we're gonna watch the kick, okay?
All right.
You can play a little bit more. All right. We agree that we see Officer Haley kick, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And we see that he kicks Mr. Nichols. Correct?
Yes,
We see that he kicks Mr. Nichols. I'll keep my voice up, I'm sorry.
yes,
We agree that we see him kick Mr. Nichols
yes,
while Mr. Nichols is on the ground.
yes.
While Mr. Nichols is on the ground after 2 kicks to the head, 3 baton strikes, 5 haymakers that we have all agreed are unnecessary and excessive, correct?
Yes, sir.
And after Mr. Haley kicks him, we then see Mr. Haley bend down to help handcuff Mr. Nichols, correct?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
We did.
Yes, sir.
We watch the kick again. Kicks him. You saw it. He kicks him and then he just walks away.
Yes, sir, he does.
So he doesn't bend down and attempt to handcuff Mr. Nichols.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't do anything to attempt to assist after his kick.
No, sir.
In fact, after his kick, when he just walks away, we have somebody else walk up, don't we?
Do that one again.
We have somebody else walk up after Mr. Haley sort of walks away.
Yes, sir.
And that's Mr. Martin.
Yes.
And then we see another kick to Mr. Nichols, right?
Right.
And at this point, we've seen 2 kicks to the head, 3 baton strikes, 5 haymakers, Haley's kick, and now this final kick by Mr. Martin. Would you say Mr. Martin's final kick was unnecessary and excessive?
Oh, I don't think it was necessary at all. It was excessive.
Yeah, unnecessary and excessive.
Yes, sir, I agree.
And everybody out there that would have seen that has a duty to intervene, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this entire time, we've heard no stop, no, whoa, we got this, nothing.
No.
From anybody. Would you agree that these officers have a duty to inform medical personnel with regard to helpful information they may know that may help them treat their patient?
I would agree with that.
When you agree helpful medical information may be here, he took some shots to the head.
Can you do that one again?
Would it be helpful for medical personnel to know that he took some head shots?
Yes, it would.
They could have even made up a story like he fell and hit his head or something, couldn't they?
I guess they could have.
I mean, that would at least tell medical personnel that he took a headshot, right?
Yes.
And you've reviewed the body cams and you've reviewed the videos. You've never heard a single officer out there on the scene tell medical personnel one time that he took a shot to his head, have you?
Nothing that I saw.
Not a single time.
No, sir.
when you train officers, you would train them to tell medical personnel, let them know that a man took shots to the head, wouldn't you?
Everything that the officer knew, yes, sir.
You would train them to intervene when they see something like that.
Yes, sir.
With regard to Haley's kick, me and you may never agree. Okay?
All right.
But you find that to be necessary, correct?
I find it to be necessary, yes, sir.
And you make out of his statement, beat that man, a statement that could be read as, do what you have to do, take him in custody.
Yes, sir.
We may agree on a barber,
Yes, sir.
we may not agree on that,
Correct.
okay? And you'd agree with me if we go back to the beginning, this jury is free to agree with you or disagree with you.
Certainly.
Certainly. Unfortunately, you're one of the last witnesses. It's unfortunate for you, okay? Because there's a couple videos that haven't been played into evidence yet.
All right.
Videos that you reviewed.
All right.
Okay. So I think I'm done with really the substance of my examination of you.
All right.
But we are going to play a couple videos
Sure.
so you can identify them, okay?
Sure.
Before we get into that, I can have the attorney's proof.
Did he just say that Don is one of the last few witnesses? Did I hear that correctly? Huh. Well, all right then. Due to Sunday, I don't know if it's ones we haven't seen or have. I don't know. I just know there's over 80 hours of between sky cam, body cam, and interrogation footage the public has not seen. Some of it they have released, but they haven't released all of it. So I don't know if they're going to show it in court. I don't know.
We're going to play for you the body-worn camera of Officer Haley. It is one of the videos you've reviewed.
A verbal answer. You reviewed this, correct?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Sit here first.
We can go ahead and stop it here. We're not going to do much starting, okay?
Right.
Because is it fair to say that Officer Haley's body cam footage starts after the incident has occurred?
Yes, sir.
And by the, I need to be more clear, by the incident, I mean the incident where Mr. Nichols, what we just watched
Yes, sir.
at Castlegate, not the traffic stop.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Man, when I say that man gotta be on some million, bro. That man got tased with the plums running down the fucking street. He on something bad. When you lit him up, you didn't want to stop. We did, come on, stop. I'm talking about finna take folks out. All in oncoming traffic and everything. I got some film.
2938. This is my phone meeting. This is on you or are you bringing it back?
Hey, please hit this up. Ask all these motherfucking questions, man.
Bring it down here.
Fuck, man. I'm under the car. Is this all up under the car, bro?
Yeah, I got that right now.
Why you saying how much? This one. Oh my God, man. Are you not real black, bro? I ain't bring my shit with me. Liz, you good? Huh? Come here. You got some water, your eyes burning? A little bit, still burning back there. You got some water, pour that down? Okay. Damn. That might hide as a kite, man. Hit a bit. I go sit your ass. Damn. I sprayed him. I snatched them motherfuckers out to that room. Yeah, yeah. Fuck that. I ain't talking about straight like this. I'm talking about that. Y'all move the thing down there. No, bring him down there. Bro, my eyes are on firecracker mode right now. My shit on firecracker mode.
Could you tell at 2040, it's 2040-19 right now, so just a few seconds before. Could you tell what we sort of saw flash off?
No, sir.
Did you see Mr. Nichols lean over the car?
Oh, I saw Mr. Nichols in the car, yes, sir.
Did you see the side of a cellular phone pointed at him?
Pardon me?
Did you see a cellular phone, very small portion of it pointed at Mr. Nichols?
Yes, sir, I did.
You're aware that Officer Haley took a picture of Mr. Nichols right then as he's leaning up against the car?
Yes, sir.
You're aware that he sent those pictures to several different people?
I believe he did, yes, sir.
Is that something you train your officers to do?
I'm sorry.
Is that something you train your officers to do?
To take pictures of a suspect, yes, sir.
Take pictures of the suspect after he's beaten up, laying on the car, and send it to a bunch of people.
I missed the last part of it, I'm sorry.
Take pictures of a person who has been beaten up, laying on the side of a car, and send it to a bunch of people.
I wouldn't train them to send it to a bunch of people, but they can take pictures of the person to document the injuries.
I don't think this was documented injuries though. Do you?
Your Honor,
I did characterization
So
of
do you?
I didn't check the first time.
Yeah.
I would ask for a caution, Judge.
and for a strike.
Do you believe this was documented injuries?
I believe that's what.
Your Honor, I don't, it's not my witness, but that calls for speculation, which may affect my client. That calls for speculation on this witness's part.
He's been already appointed as an expert in this matter. If he has an opinion as to it, he can render that opinion. If he doesn't, choose not to.
Question again, I'm sorry.
Do you believe this was documented injuries?
That's what Officer Haley said. One of the reports that I read, or one of the statements I read.
Do you believe Officer Haley took the picture to document injuries?
That's what he said, sir.
Do you know the people he sent it to?
No, I don't.
You read the reports, didn't you?
Yes. I don't know the people.
No, they include girlfriends, right?
I believe one was a girlfriend.
At least one, right?
I believe so.
Not to investigators. Correct?
Correct.
To civilians. Correct?
Yes, sir.
To friends of his, correct?
I would assume they're French. Yes.
I believe that this mischaracterizes the testimony. Testimony earlier was that there were, I believe, 8 people, several of whom were identified in the phone as with the initials MPD before. I think that Mr. Hagerman's questions are going outside the record.
This is cross-examination. I'll allow him to cross-examine if you want to clarify on your redirection.
The people that included civilians, correct?
I believe so.
The people that included at least one girlfriend, correct?
I think so, I'm not sure.
You can resume the video.
Appreciate y'all, man. Oh, for sure. Hey, you know, that's why I chased him here, but I couldn't see no more. I couldn't see no more. Well, you said that. We went to there. Yeah. That's it, boy. I tried, bro. I don't know I couldn't see, bro. That's what I said. I got it. I was making a lot of shit. Hey, you good, bro? How good you real heavy people?
Motherfucker, shit, I had that going out, see.
All right, bro. Motherfucker. All right,
I think,
He got me high as a kite, boy. Yo, I was feeling I ain't gonna tell about this one. I'm sorry for the motherfucker. Yeah. Dude was like smoke like them drugs on serious. Bro, it was like, I ain't never seen him be in a good taste structure. Boom, got out of here. I fell to the ground. Everybody jumped up. Took off.
Bang was rocking, man. I took this, start rocking. Motherfucker, what the fuck?
I'm telling you, bro. God damn, man. But hell no, this shit hot as a motherfucker. Everybody got sprayed. I sprayed, he sprayed, hit me a tase. He jumped up, snatched the tase from him legs and took off running down the street. He full of not dope, he full of dog food. Yeah, he grabbed one gun on the sand. That pipe was on some whole type of stuff. I ain't even look. I just got my car with like, hey bro, you good? Motherfucker swung. Wow, I don't know what he mean. He reached for Mark gun and slammed him to the car and he was on from there. Like he literally had this man on Mark gun. Like that one was on there. I don't know what that might be. Ain't strong as a motherfucker. Oh, he's strong as a motherfucker. Hold on side of the clip. That's more than dope. That's more than dope. He caught strong and hot. That's what it is. Am I driving? Yeah, I'm all right. Fire right now. This car way out there. Let's talk about that. Also, rights. Listen. Ain't got nothing. Ain't got nothing. I don't know. That might just. He got to be good. Huh? Everybody over here? God damn, bro. This I ain't never straight my head in my life. It's over. Yeah, it's over. I saw like that. I'm going. I'm giving chase, so he not even running fast. And this how I knew you was fucked up. When you were running, you just said, "Fuck." It was so funny for me, man.
I said, I'm talking. I said,
Where every other traffic stop?
Yes, no, please, I'm talking about what I'm doing. Then I see
Yeah, he was drove in the oncoming traffic. So we tried to, I'm talking about he lives on the traffic. Yes, all this traffic. So we tried to get him stopped. He didn't stop. We still trying to get him stopped. Hit the side. Stop. I'm like, drove around, swerved like you finna hit my car. So then I'm like, God damn, man, what we doing? He pulled up to the red light, stopped at the red light, put his turn signal on. So we jump out the car. She went from there. He got out, took a swing, grab Martin, tried to grab Martin. He had a whole grip on him. I'm talking about he grabbed him like this. That's what Martin said, let my gun go. Boom! Knocked him into the car. That Martin literally grabbed him and gun. You that guy didn't say lean though. You want to repeat. That's why I should straight. Come here. I got him. Hey, here, Mark, come here. Which eye? She's in. There we go. I got it. It's blocked off. I'm sorry. I'll be out. Which eye? It was in the corners and shit. There we go. We need some more. Y'all go this way, can't go this way. What you take, man? Huh? How much of these left, man? What you take? Huh? You taking something, man. What you take, man? What trying to hit? Huh? Huh? He also. Hey, you got to take on that. Huh? You took something, man. Hey, no smoke, man. Oh, where you at? He calling somebody over. Oh, y'all stop. Hey, man, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. No problem, man. We said about he already to do that. This shit happened. No, I ain't nailed him on life. That's my story. Yeah. Oh, hey, you should have been
Look at Tyre's giving my pieces. It is actually damn.
Oh, we gave him something over there. We gave him a screen. Over on the scene, they like took the palms out of his leg and took off running out.
You ain't running no more. Spray him, hang that.
What?
Stop spraying his eyes.
Who? No, what is Matthew? He's gonna make a trade stop. What the? Hey, Lou, come here, Lou. Come here. This shit got to stop. You heard us? We over here on this. Why he over there? We want to cuss an extra for a car. That's therefore y'all got to check. We was already on this. Because when we make it stop, this was really far. I couldn't get on the radio with her. He got extra. Oh, what's the name? Extra patrol. $29.35. That's illegal. Thank you, Kilo. We gotta make custody. Trevor, my shit burning like a mother.
Now, we're gonna transport it in traffic.
I know. Just put it.
Yeah, we got the ID. Later. We got the ID. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Drugs.
Well, I feel like I was in that cabin again. Hey, when that shit hit me,
I pepper spray. I spray. I pepper spray. No. I said, look. After you guys say I sprayed myself with stuff, I said, fuck, I got sprayed. I thought you were successful because they ain't doing that. Bro.
I take it.
I appreciate you pulling up, bro.
It was just everything traffic.
I wouldn't go there.
I said, hey,
Is it in there?
We play, yes, it's 2054-41.
All my question is it in there or is it?
Yeah, there it is. We ended it at 2054-41. Is that Officer Haley's body cam, is that right?
I believe it is, yes, sir.
Now, we would add this into evidence with your Honor's permission to the master exhibit that will be introduced at the close of proof. And there is one more body worn camera. Record, this will be Justice Smith's body worn camera, and it starts at 2037-43.
Are you bringing it back down here?
Bring him down here, Plea. Bring him down here.
Check, I got that way now.
Shit, I need my glasses. I lost some too. Fuck. That's one. Turn that shit.
Yeah. You better do that.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, bro. Y'all see my flashlight on the ground somewhere? Fuck. There you go. I know. I see y'all. I see him his ass. Fuck. So I like fuck my leg, bro. I know I'm finna feel this shit. Hey. Bro. I just don't know. That motherfucker laugh. Get him up. Shit. Hey, here you go, Steve. Shit, you know what I'm talking about? This shit. Huh? Hell no. Motherfucker. Shit, I heard they going out, shit. I'm like, fuck. And so I seen Bean changing right here. I ain't even know my light it. I lost that motherfucker again. That motherfucker high. Bro, I hit that man so many pieces and he's still. I was like, bro, God damn. I don't even make sure my damn phone's a cop. Hey, Bean was rocking, then hell, I jumped in and started rocking. Motherfucker, what the fuck? Man, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Hey, you got that face thing you can do? No. You're from a traffic stop. He got some in his back pocket. A wallet. I can't get it. Shit. Fuck me, man. Mind that motherfucker so bad. Hold on. You trying to stand up over there. What you got? He got nothing to talk. Unless he threw it while on his way running, he ran so that they're pop.
I don't know if he did that.
Fuck.
He's so good.
I seen her. What I'm talking about? I seen Bean type to the ground. Bean down stop. Man, then Bean watched out there when I started doing it. I was like, what the fuck? And then I feel you and bro. This motherfucker. Yeah, bro. Shawty know my shit.
No, it's not.
Butter some shit. Y'all see my flashlight? Right here in this area.
Stop it there. It's 20. Can't tell that's a 6 or an 8. 26, 2046, 03. Is that Detective Smith's body on camera?
Yes, sir.
No further questions, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
I'm going to try and go in order that Mr. Hagerman was asking you questions, Mr. Cameron. What type of traffic stop was this?
It was a high risk.
And he asked you some questions about statements regarding the gun.
Yes, sir.
Training stuff. What's the significance of that?
The statement about the gun
Yes.
puts it, like I say, into a whole different perspective. So suspect that is trying to take an officer's gun.
For the people on the scene at that time, does it matter whether the gun was touched or not?
No, it doesn't,
Why not?
because they were told it was touched or grabbed. And again, you don't question an officer and say, well, did it really happen? Are you sure that he was grabbing your gun? Maybe he was not, maybe his hand just moved there. You don't ask those questions.
What happens if you hesitate in a situation like that?
If he gets the officer's gun, somebody gets injured or killed.
You talked about when Haley's kicked at Bear Creek and Castlegate. You talked about the hesitation.
Yes.
What's the significance of that hesitation?
He didn't just randomly run in and kicking. And he picked a spot on the upper muscle area of the arm in the tricep area. And he knew from his training that that would loosen the arm up and hopefully allow the other officer to handcuff it.
And did that in fact happen?
Yes, it did.
Remind this jury of the purpose of verbal judo.
Verbal judo is used to persuade an individual to get into custody using the least amount of force possible.
And how does verbal judo help that?
Well, you're trying to reason with the individual, and some people obviously you can't reason with, but you're trying to reason with the individual to use a minimal amount of force to take them into custody.
Is verbal judo moving up the scale on the force continuum?
Is it moving up? No, it's the lowest level.
Mr. Hagerman had you watch the Sky Cop video from the beginning,
Yes, sir.
and you saw Officer Martin kick twice. We all saw Officer Martin kick twice.
Yes, sir.
Where?
Appeared to be the upper body, perhaps the head.
And we saw Mills strike 3 times with the aspeton, correct?
Yes.
And we saw Martin punch 5 times in the head, correct?
Yes, sir, we did.
Where was Haley at the time of all of those contacts?
I believe it was in his vehicle responding to the call.
Based upon watching that video again today, your entire review of the file, how many, as Mr. Hagerman said, headshots did Haley see given to Mr. Nichols?
None.
Was Haley present when any of the, quote, headshots were given to Mr. Nichols?
No, he wasn't.
Based upon your training and experience, does it take more than watching a video to have a professional opinion regarding police training standards and the propriety of use of force?
No, you can't base it solely on a video.
What factors go into forming an opinion?
The information the officer had prior to their use of force, the level of resistance on the suspect's part, necessity to get the individual in handcuffs and into custody.
I might have a moment, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
May we approach him?
No, because they throwing everyone under the bus, especially Haley's attorney. Haley's attorney is trying to mitigate all blame to everybody else and not him. Remember, he didn't kick him in the head, so he shouldn't be found guilty of murder. So I don't know. I think it's wild as hell that the old dude on stand said that the kick was necessary. That shit is wild. But hey, whatever. That's what they'll do. Oh shit, yesterday I did not realize Steve was in court yesterday. I did not know that. I sure would wonder where the fuck his ass been at. That might have been everywhere but in that courtroom. Steve Mulroy, that's our district attorney. Steve Mulroy is our district attorney. He's the one who asked for this to be investigated by the TBI, FBI. Yeah, Paul Hagerman has been running. He's the lead prosecutor on the trial. Now, more about Paul, though. Paul is the one who he did the Dolph murder trial and got them convicted. He did. He's been doing Ezekiel's case trial. The man who went around in Memphis just randomly shooting people, stealing their shit. Drove to Mississippi. He got caught because he went to Mississippi, which is the wildest shit ever, but they won't admit it. But South Haven PD is the one who hemmed him up. It wasn't even MPD, even though they take the credit for it. They didn't hem him up. It was South Haven PD. They hemmed him up in a cold, called Memphis and said, come get him. We got him hemmed up because he took his ass down there to Mississippi and thought he was going to rob somebody else at a gas station. Surprise, surprise, the motherfucker he tried to rob had a gun on them. So that backfired, and next thing you know, he had South Haven PD on his ass, and they're the ones who hemmed him up. But MPD loves taking credit for that, even though for fucking almost 10 hours, our city was in fucking chaos. Nobody knew where he was at. The only thing we knew, we had to be on Facebook, literally. And if you didn't have Facebook, you didn't know shit about it, because at that time, we didn't have an alert system in Memphis. Then they randomly send out an alert system. Did you just end this live, motherfucker? He did. No, okay. Then they randomly sent out text messages saying, do you want to be a part of this alert system? And everybody's like, what the fuck is this, a scam? So, yeah, there was a whole lot of shit that came from that one. So, I mean, Paul has been a part of huge cases. He has. I'm not going to deny that. He has been a part of some of the most famous cases we have in Memphis going on in the past 5 years. If you see somebody getting convicted, especially like I said with the Dolph trial, a lot of them have been found guilty of murder. They're serving life. So, I mean, Paul is experienced. I'm going to put it like that. But I would prefer Melanie and Tanisha because they was on fire yesterday. Paul sits there. And the way he talks to the jury is just, it's so aloof. It's so indifferent, the attitude he has. Yeah. When see, that's why I said I have to be off so I can sit down and actually read shit and pay attention to shit. Because, like, when I'm at work, I'm half-ass here. So I don't catch everything. But, yeah, they said the jury is non-black. There's not a black person on the jury. And I'm with Sunday. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that'll go. I don't know. So it could go either way.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, your list has arrived. We have a few issues that we're going to need to discuss. We will work on those while you all are eating. We're going to go ahead and excuse you at this time. We'll stand for assessment.
Court stands recessed.
Thank you.
All right, so we're on lunch. As I stated, I will most likely not be back on time because I do have appointments and shit I need to go take care of. But y'all have asked for me to stream it when I get back, so I will. I'll stream it when I get back to the house and get situated. I don't know how to feel about it either. When I read it, that's why I put it in the chat, because, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just know the way of thinking is completely different in chat than how it is in Memphis. I do know that. Chat is a completely different vibe than Memphis. But like I said, I will not be back on time to stream part 2. So just when I get back, we'll start it from the beginning and go from there. To say the least, this trial has been very interesting. It's very interesting to hear all of these old ass former law enforcement officers saying, well, yeah, I can understand that kick, but that kick to the head, I don't understand. Even though the fucking autopsy shows that he had hemorrhaging all over his body, not just his brain. He had hemorrhaging in his chest. He had hemorrhaging in his back. He had hemorrhaging in his neck, in his shoulder area. He had major swelling in the brain, which also ended up causing him to go into cardiac arrest. And guess what happened when he went into cardiac arrest? When he went into cardiac arrest, that also caused him to have liver damage. So he literally was fucked from that beating. Fucked. That's not also including the baton shots he took to his arms and legs. That also doesn't mention the kicks to his other body parts. It doesn't mention the punches to his body, head, face, arms, legs, chest, torso, back. They killed him, bottom line. I get pissed off because they love hollering. Well, it was said that he was reaching for a gun, whether he did or not. What do you do? It doesn't matter. If he didn't fucking reach for the gun, that's all a null and void. You didn't have a right to beat the shit out of him. The DOJ even sat here and said he never once reached for the gun. Just like our police chief got her ass on camera, and it's in the news article I shared with y'all. Go look at it. She sat here and fucking said no driving infractions was committed. None. The investigators went through the camera footage, all of it, from the sky cams, body cams, vehicle cams, went through all of it and did not see a driving infraction committed. But you get these officers on the stand, and you even had an investigator get on the stand and claim that there was a driving infraction. Getting over in the left lane without a blinker. So without signaling. That's what caused them to run up on his car, aggressive, yanking him out, guns drawn, immediately start beating the shit out of him, tasing him, pepper spraying him, even though I don't think he got tased. I think he got pepper sprayed, but I don't think he got tased. I don't. I could be wrong on that, but you can't really see it on the camera either. According to the police, it did hit him in his leg. I think that's a fucking lie. But I could be wrong. Y'all catch up with him a second time, he outruns y'all ass. Then the third time y'all finally do catch him, and that's when y'all beat the living shit out of him to the point where y'all stand him up. Even though y'all lied on the stand and sat here and said he stood up on his own, he did not stand up on his own. Y'all picked him up so you could beat the shit out of him some more. Then proceed on camera to laugh and joke about it. Ha ha, he he. Oh yeah, we were throwing pieces. He got to be high on something. Come back to toxicology and I can tell you exactly what was in his system. On the toxicology, he had alcohol with a level of 0.49%, which is under the limit, okay? He had caffeine, nicotine, weed, and Narcan. Because they hit him 4 times with fucking Narcan because they swore up and down he was on fentanyl. Didn't find any shrooms in the system. Because the defense tried to make a big deal about that with the medical examiner talking about how long does it take for shrooms to leave your body. There was no shrooms found in his system. Then y'all proceed to lie on every fucking report that y'all made. Even got your lieutenant to lie on the use of force forms and said it was granted and that they had every right to beat the shit out of him. Guess what happened to lieutenant? Lieutenant got to retire and keep his pension. Didn't shit happen to him. He said his officers grossly misrepresented what they told him. Although it's his duty to review the motherfucking body cam and determine himself. Then let's not forget the EMTs that arrived on scene that sat there and swore up and down that they had full-blown conversation with Tyre. But he couldn't find his pulse. How the fuck are you having conversation with somebody, but you can't find his pulse? Make that one make sense. Then proceeds to half-ass check him over. The lieutenant of the EMTs from the fire department, her bitch ass never got out the fucking vehicle, never got out to assess the patient, never got out, tried to train her trainees, none of that. Well, they got fired, what was January 30th of 2023? Him and Jamichael, they both got fired because they failed to render aid. Robert testified and stated, well, he was told basically to stand down by his lieutenant. And, you know, he did ask the officers to take the cuffs off of Tyre, but they refused. Also, there was a big debate on what is an EMT and a paramedic. Well, paramedics have longer training. They go to school longer. They're able to perform life-saving measures and also prescribe certain medications to whereas EMTs can't. So it's basically down to schooling and more training, basically. They were EMTs, not paramedics. You also had the Shelby County Sheriff's Office get in fucking trouble as well, because why? They wasn't even supposed to be fucking over there. They are only supposed to patrol unincorporated parts of Shelby County, not incorporated. They asses wasn't even supposed to be over their own reigns, but hey, here we are. They lied on their report, so they ended up getting fired too for lying. But they didn't get charged. The EMTs didn't get charged. The lieutenants didn't get charged. Nobody got charged but these 5 officers. Preston, fat ass, didn't get charged. I'm sorry. Every chance I'm going to take a low dig at his ass because he's low-hanging fruit. And if it wasn't for his bitch ass, none of this shit would have started. He started the initial encounter. If he would have kept his ass driving, all of this could have been avoided. But no, y'all lied and swore up and down y'all saw Tyre commit driving infractions, yada, yada, driving reckless, and didn't even see it on the fucking camera. Yeah, you can go to a technical college and fast track EMTs. I know. But everybody failed Tyre. Everybody on scene failed Tyre. I don't give a damn what nobody says or how anybody tries to justify. Well, run it. You surely run it. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't equate death. Running does not mean you get a death sentence. Period. Then on top of that, it's like, I really wish the defense or the prosecution would have put this shit in the fucking evidence. I don't know how they dropped the ball on this one. But I'm going to keep saying it because they dropped the ball. It was literally on the news 2 days prior to this that there was people running around in unmarked cars with plain clothes robbing people. Basically, there was fake undercovers running around Memphis robbing folks, and they told people to be vigilant. So when you have a unmarked car and unmarked police officer, plain clothes, and all they got on is a fucking vest that says police, what do you think is going to happen? Would you trust that shit? Because I'm telling you now, I wouldn't trust it. I've seen undercovers with Texas tags. You think I'm pulling over for that shit? You better follow me to the precinct. That's what we can do. I'm not running, but I'm not stopping either. The fuck? Texas? No. Yeah, they just mentioned the other day how the DOJ literally sat and counted every command that was given in the first encounter. It was over 71 conflicting commands. So how is a man supposed to, or anybody, and ain't just a man, I'm sorry if that was me in that situation. I'm probably, what the fuck? Get it together. It was just a fucked up situation all the way around, and the circumstances that caused a lot of this shit is fucked up. It is. But Tyre didn't deserve to die. He didn't deserve to get beat like a fucking dog in the street. He didn't deserve that. I can understand y'all roughing him up a little bit, possibly. But to beat him for over 10 minutes, you don't think that's excessive? To throw haymakers, to stand him up and beat him some more, that's not excessive? Because he won't give y'all his wrist, even though y'all are holding him by his motherfucking arms? How am I supposed to give you my wrist if you're holding my arm? How am I supposed to give you my hands if your big ass is on top of me? How am I supposed to give you my wrist if I got one trying to choke me? Because that's what Justin was doing. He was choking him. Then you got the other one coming in, kicking him. Then you got the other one punching him. Then you got Mills come in with the baton and start striking him. Like, come on, bruh. So, whole situation fucked up, and the circumstances around it is fucked up. And I have heard rumblings. Some of y'all were here earlier, but I have heard rumblings that they plan on shutting Memphis down when we get to verdict time, because they're scared. They are scared. City leaders are scared. City officials are scared. Community leaders are scared. We have the NAACP here. They're never fucking here, ever. They have a building downtown. They ain't never at that motherfucker. The last time they was there was when Tyre died. They're at that building, though. Ben Crump here. You had Steve Mulroy in there yesterday. I don't know if he's in there today, because I haven't seen it. But I've heard Mayor Paul Young has called the National Guard for standby because they expect Memphians to show their ass. They do. And this time it might happen. I hate to say that. This time it might happen. When he died, they wanted to. But a lot of us was like, it ain't gonna do no good, so just don't do it. Even his mom was like, please don't fuck up the city because it's not worth it. This time, though, if they don't come back with guilty on this murder, the main one is murder. I could give a fuck less about the kidnapping and all of that. I want the second-degree murder charge for all three of y'all asses. I don't give a fuck who did what. Y'all were all complicit in it. All y'all did some bogus-ass shit. So all of y'all are guilty. One band, one sound. The fuck? But as we watch this whole trial, each defense attorney has been trying to get their client separated from the rest. And it's like, y'all acted as a cohesive team. So take this motherfucking sentence as a cohesive team. So we shall see what happens. I just know If they don't get convicted of second-degree murder, Lord have mercy on Memphis. That's all I can say, because I don't think they'll stop them this time. But anyway, I'm about to get ready and head out this house, get my dogs out again and all of that stuff. Y'all go spend some time with your loved ones, go touch grass, go do something. I'm going to my happy place for a little while and probably going to get me something to eat while I'm out. So y'all be safe out here. Keep your head up. Let the defense do whatever the fuck they want to do. Throw out whatever they want to throw out. The video doesn't lie. And I'll catch y'all when I get back to the house. So peace, y'all.